You are all very familiar with the streptococcus that causes sore throats. Streptococci are not normally found in soil at all. Very, very rare. So when you start seeing chains of cocci, you want to be a little bit concerned. You could be well dealing with a chicken manure. You could be dealing with manure of some kind because streptococci occur more in manures of different kinds of birds.
Also, impetigo.
Streptococci. Pardon?
Impetigo is streptococcus on the skin, so
Yep.
that can be carried in soil or water.
Yep, and so if you see those streptococci, be careful. Just, you don't have to go crazy like you do with the pneumococcus. But if you're seeing lots of streptococci in there, make sure you're washing your hands really well. Whatever you're doing with that sample, start to manage that material appropriately. You can see the tetrad kind of bacteria. They're just one more kind of formation that you will find cocci in. Little tiny cocci or a little bit larger, a little bit larger. Bunch of grapes, staphylococci. So it's really rare to have disease-causing staphylococci. So I don't worry when I see the bunches of grapes, not a problem. If you were taking scrapings from your skin and you found staphylococcus, you might start worrying. So depending on what you're looking at. Bacillus, round, see how the ends of that rod is longer than it is wide? But when the ends are rounded like that, we call it a cocobacillus, a round rod. Versus a true bacillus that has squared ends. The genus Bacillus is usually really wide. They'll be 3 or 4 micrometers wide and very square and very big cell walls. Those are really beneficial bacteria, Bacillus. So be really happy when you see those. Diplobacillus, 2 in a row. Streptobacillus, so good guys generally. Rods that are lined up side by side. People will often call these picket fences. And so coroniform bacteria are usually quite beneficial. There's a few species that aren't so wonderful, but I've never found them in properly aerated soil or compost. When you see the real narrow and pointy, getting a little bit fatter in the middle, be very careful about those. These are bad guys. Most of these are diseases. These are problem organisms. If you're seeing fusobacteria, you've got salmonella, you've got shigella, you've got some of the other disease-causing organisms. Deal with it properly. Vibrio, common-shaped bacteria, very rare again in soil. Be a little bit worried if you start seeing a lot of the common-shaped bacteria. Delovibrio is the only bacterium that eats other bacteria. So this is a predatory bacterium. Corynebacteria, some of them have the little, so just some different morphologies. This one is not dangerous, don't worry about it. Helicorn, when you look at the rod, it's twisted. And so those are helicobacter, and that is what causes ulceration in your digestive system. Start seeing a lot of those, wash your hands. Take care of that sample so it's not coming in contact with your food or anything you care about. Spirillum. These are corkscrew-shaped bacteria. They are stiff in that corkscrew shape, but they are motile. And so imagine if you've got a corkscrew going through your soil sample or your compost. Well, it's not compost if you see spirillum in it. You'll see kind of a standing waveform that's moving as it's going through your soil. And when you see that, probably 85% of the spirilla cause disease. If you're seeing spirillum, you're going to have E. coli, you're going to have salmonella, you're going to have shigella, you're going to have other anaerobic parasites, pathogens. So when you see him, you got work to do. Be careful you don't contaminate yourself. Don't be playing with that sample and then go eat French fries for lunch and lick your fingers. you could have a little bit of digestive problem if you are not careful about that.
Can I just turn this off?
There we go, I'm back. Spirochetes move like snakes. So when you see that kind of motion of a little bacterium zooming through your soil, about 50% of the spirochetes cause diseases. So when you think of things like malaria, when you think of sleeping sickness, they are caused by spirochetes. And again, you want to make certain that you're handling that sample correctly. And